Welcome to the Pigs Podcast, politically incorrect gamers. How do you like our new jingle?
It sounds awesome. I'm all for it.
Yeah.
Copyright that shit.
All right, copyrighted, official today. No, it's not official. We can't copyright that. Q, it's too good.
Well, yeah, it's true. You know, although if we do copyright it, we can sell it.
Oh, but what I was gonna say, I'm OreO, and this is Cuestick.
What's up?
And this is the Politically Incorrect Gaming Podcast. Today we're going to talk about, obviously, it's Halloween this week, so we're going to be talking about horror games. Horror. Yeah, boo. Horror. You got to be careful saying that word. Horror.
Well, see, what you do is you throw in the southern accent and go, it's a horror.
Horror game.
Because you won't get anywhere near close to horror when you say horror.
Yeah, because you'll scare your mom and be like, Mom, I want to play some horror game. What did you say, child?
It's a horror. What do you mean it's a horror? No, it's a game. I know it's... What are you playing in this game? Well, you jump and stuff. You mean this horror is jumping on you? What the fuck?
I told you not to play Grand Theft Auto.
The bitch won't give me my money back.
So, Q and I, we'll blame me. I found a list of top 25 of the best horror games, and we pretty much went through it and broke it down how incorrect the list is. I mean, his punctuation was fucked up, his spelling was wrong, he couldn't form a sentence, Q.
Oh, trust me, I know, I read it.
So we went through that, attempted to read. We attempted to go through his top 25 list, and then we amended it, changed it to what is good and what is bad, and basically, if you have amnesia, that's bad.
Yeah, so don't forget shit.
Yeah. Listen to the episode, excuse me. No robots. There's no robots in the episode.
And listen to the very end for a super important announcement in the world of PC gaming.
Yes. You've already seen the announcement if you've been on the Facebook page. Facebook page is facebook.com/pigspod, PIGSPOD. If you were on there, you would already know what announcement Q is talking about. Otherwise, you're going to have to listen all the way through the episode, because you can't skip. That's illegal. You can't skip.
And on a side note, while I'm thinking about it, there will not be an episode of Pigs Pod Wargaming this week. Unfortunately, yeah, the wife and I went to a sci-fi convention up in West Virginia for the weekend, and it completely subverted my abilities to be able to do an episode. So we'll be doing some serious episode recording this weekend and have episodes available for next week.
Sweet. Did you get any undercover convention camera footage?
No. We spent a lot of time at our dealer's table selling the fuck out of some shit. We made good money, so we can't complain too much.
Your dealer's table?
Yeah.
Huh?
Well, the wife was...
Walter White?
No, yeah, I wish. The wife is an artist, and she was selling some of her wares and jewelry and art and whatnot, so it was a fun trip.
Hell yeah.
So, but other than that, listen to the episode.
Yeah, and you would already know all that stuff if you already were on the Facebook page, slackers. I know there's more people than are on the Facebook page listen to this, so you better get to the Facebook page, or else we will continue to berate and harass.
Harass?
Yeah, harass.
Harass that whore.
What about harass, that whore? The whore game with harass?
Mm-hmm.
Here's the episode. Go away.
Bye.
I still want to try Dead Space. I was hoping I could try it before we recorded, but nope. Have you played Dead Space?
No.
No?
No.
I've never played. I didn't even know it was a horror game until I was asking people on Twitter, like, what's a good horror game? And somebody said Dead Space. I was like, Dead Space is a horror game?
I didn't know that.
I thought it was like a Mass Effect thing. I thought it was just like a like story in space. But the USG Ishimura? That's the name of the ship, but it says it's a terrifying setting with half of the ship in disrepair. Disrepair, Q. You repaired the disc job. You were like, whoever put this together, whoever repaired this piece of shit. They should not be licensed. They should not be certified. It's terrible repair. And the other half of the ship is filled with slavering monsters. Slavering?
Slaving?
It says SLAVERING. Slavering. Yeah, I've never heard of that word, but that's the kind of monsters they have on the other ship.
Oh, that's the thing.
So it says Dead Space was the master of the jump scare, and you had an uneasy feeling the whole time, thinking that your ship would fall apart right from underneath your feet. Oh, technically, if you're in space, nothing is beneath your feet, right? Everything is everywhere.
That's deep.
Yeah.
We ought to consult Stephen Hawking on this.
Yeah, he'd be like, I agree.
I agree. That sounds like a good theory.
Write it down. Just kidding. You're stupid.
So I'm having all kinds of issues tonight. It's not even letting me open my fucking Google.com. Like, seriously?
You can't even open Google.com?
Google.com! Yeah, Google's not even opening.
Oh, man, that sucks. All right, well, I'll read you the list then.
All right, read them to me while I fight with this dumb fucking thing.
All right. So, basically, all I did was go to Google and type in best horror games of all time. And it gave me a list that says top 25 best horror games of all time. But there's actually 27 on the list. So, number 27, I don't agree with. I think they just added this in later on, like recently, because it's Silent Hill's PT, playable teaser. Have you seen any of the playable teaser stuff, the PT?
For Silent Hill?
Yeah.
No, I played Silent Hill 2.
Oh, you haven't seen this? It just came out like a month and a half ago or so for PlayStation 4. It was on the...
Well, I don't believe in the PlayStation, so there's your problem right there.
See, right here is where I have the problem, because the PT... They called it PT and they just threw it up on the PlayStation Marketplace and didn't say anything to anybody. And the only way you could find anything out about it was to beat the PT. And somebody did it in like 8 hours. And basically it's just you're in a hallway and it's an infinite looping hallway. But something like slightly different changes every time. And like one of the creepiest things, if you haven't seen this yet, you got to look it up on YouTube though. This one you can definitely find, but there's like... You're coming around the corner and there's a door cracked.
Wait a minute.
Yeah, you've seen it. I bet you've seen it.
Yeah, I didn't realize it was a demo for Silent Hill.
Yeah, see, nobody did until you beat the whole thing. If you run through the whole thing enough times and figure out the little puzzles and shit, it finally lets you walk out into the street, and then it reveals the little cutscene that says, Silent Hill.
I watched Rooster Teeth do a Let's Play on that.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Okay, all right. I had no clue that it was a demo for Silent Hill.
Yeah, see, that was the cool thing they did. I thought they did a good job on that. And like I said, somebody had it figured out with like in 8 hours of it being up. And they walked outside and they put it up online. And the cool thing is they walk outside and it's all Hideo Kojima, which is like he's super known for scary games. And then Guillermo del Toro.
Guillermo del Toro was also a developer for this?
Yeah, he helped write the story.
Shit.
He helped write the story and come up with some of the shit they put in it.
I mean, that's a big name for a video game.
Oh, yeah. Well, both of them are huge. Hideo is hugely known, depending who you ask. Like, if you ask anybody in Japan, they know him. See, this is what makes me nervous, because number one, it's him, and number two, they only released it on the PlayStation Marketplace, and I'm like, oh, man, I do not want to buy a PlayStation just to have to play this game. But it looks so good. It might be worth it.
I mean, if he's one of the ones that developed it, it's going to be good. I mean, there's no...
Well, he's brilliant.
There's no bones about Del Toro. So, wow, that's a thing. That's news to me.
I'll tell you a little bit of some of the stuff I've seen. I mean, you've seen the Rooster Teeth gameplay, but I've watched like 3 hours of PT gameplay. And one of the craziest things, there's the one I was talking about where you walk around the corner and the door's cracked and you kind of peek in there, and you can't see anything, and then you hear a baby crying in the background. Have you seen this part?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so the baby's crying, and you're like, what the hell? But you can't get in there. You can't see in there. So you walk around again, and basically every time you walk around, you go through one door, it loops back to the other side. So you walk around again, and all of a sudden the door's open, and you still hear the baby crying. And you go in, and you peek in the sink with your flashlight, and there's a fetus sitting in the sink. And at that point, I was like, I'm sold. I'm getting this game. I don't care what it is. I didn't even know it was Silent Hill at that time. I was just like, I'm getting this. Like, the fetus is like, oh man, that was like the best moment, because he's all wriggling around, and its little deformed mouth. This sounds really like demented, but it was brilliant. I guarantee Guillermo. I'm gonna have a hard time saying his name. Guillermo del Toro. Or to say del Toro. I guarantee that was one of his ideas. He's like, oh, we got to put a fetus in the sink. And Hideo was probably like, seriously? He's like, yeah, I'm Del Toro. I put fetus in sink.
I put fetus in sink. It's so good.
Yeah, you're not.
There's the Russian coming out. Out of nowhere, here comes the Russian.
You not see my movies? Come on.
Come see the movie. Come. Good movie. We got the vodka.
Good movie. Drink lots of vodka, because it's filled with fetus and sink. It's so many fetus.
Yeah, I feel really bad that I don't know a lot of the games on this list.
Yeah, that's all right. I don't know a lot of them either, so we'll talk.
Some of them I played the fuck out of, and then there's some that I'm like, never even heard of that game.
What we'll have to do is go through this list and talk about them if we know them. Mm-hmm. And the ones that we don't know, I've watched almost all the trailers, so I'll give you a rundown, because you're not going to be able to watch trailers on your connection queue.
Shit, no.
We need to start a fund queues connection.
Oh, it has nothing to do with the finances. It's the fact that I've got the best I can get where I live, and it's still not the best. It's terrible.
It's not the best you can. If you had $8,000 a month.
If I had $8,000 a month, I would still not be able to get any better internet out here.
You could get Google Fiber, I think.
Nah, Google Fiber's not out here.
Oh, man. I don't.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I have the best internet that money can buy where you are. I'm at.
That's ridiculous.
It is 100% ridiculous.
I bet you could get better with Verizon's whatever the bullshit they have.
Verizon isn't out here.
They don't have a signal out there?
Nope. There are 3
Where are you
carriers.
living? Are you like in a... Is that why you're always doing Russian accents? You're in a Russian cave in the middle of nowhere?
It fucking feels like it, dude. No, there's 3 carriers out here. And one is a company called Citizens. They are a co-op, which is basically a code word for monopoly. And they have control of the entire county where I live. They control your internet, they control your cable, and they control your telephone. That's the only place you can get any of those 3 is from them. Now, the only other 2 places that you can get internet from is if you want to go through DirecTV or Dish Network and buy HughesNet. HughesNet is just a satellite DSL beamed in connection, via satellite. So if it rains really good, no internet. So I literally have the best I can get. It is a whopping 5 megabytes of download speed, and we pay about $55 a month for it.
Yeah. People from 1998 are like, fuck you.
Yeah,
5 megabytes download.
Yeah, I could almost dial in faster.
Yeah, they still have, I still think AOL high speed's going. You need to get up on that.
I can't even get that out here.
Oh my gosh. You need to, move civilization closer to you or something.
Well, I really like it because, I can see you coming from literally a mile away, so I can shoot you long before you realize I see you. So that's why I live here.
Oh, you see, you're planning. You're one of them.
I'm a doomsday prepper.
Yeah,
man.
You're a prepper.
Yeah, I've got the zombie apocalypse on lock. I mean, I ain't worried about it.
Yeah, so you're right at home with some of these games here.
Yeah, well, I tell you what. Now that I've thumbed through the entire list, when we get to it, but I completely agree with their number 1.
Yeah, me too. I was thumbing through the list. We'll get to it in a second, but I agree. I was thumbing through, and I'm like, where is it? Where is it? There's no way they didn't put it on here. And then I got to 1, I was like, yeah, yep.
100%, yep, that is number 1.
I might have to change it once the new Silent Hill comes out, because it looks so fucking... I mean, a demo looks like the best scary game ever. It's too bad I can't play it. I don't have a PlayStation, but it's just watching it is so amazing. Like I said, I've watched probably 5-6 hours of other people playing it and getting scared. Like another moment, I don't know if you've seen this one. A few people have seen it that I've talked to about it, but this is like my favorite too. So you come around the corner again, the famous corner, and the door's wide open and you hear the crying of obviously the fetus again, but you look in the sink and the fetus is not in the sink anymore, and you're like, what the fuck? And you still hear the crying, and then you hear like a weird noise out in the hallway, and you go out in the hallway and there's like blood dripping down onto the floor, and you look up to the ceiling and there's a fridge tied to the ceiling swinging around, dripping out of the corner of the fridge, and you can hear like a banging noise as this fridge swings back and forth, and you're like, what the fuck? Is the fetus inside the fridge swinging around just dripping blood out of the corner? Like, it's so creepy. It's so good. I can't wait.
I think the part that did me the most in that game is that same part where you're watching the refrigerator swing back and forth. If you look up in the corner above where the refrigerator is tied, there's a balcony for the second floor, and in the corner you see the face for like a split instant, and it's like, holy shit, that's fucking stupid. So yeah, I mean, that game really does have potential to be extremely scary.
See, I have to go back and watch this. Someone was telling me about this just yesterday, that there's a dude standing up there.
Yeah. Honestly, I don't think it's a dude. I think it's the woman. I think it's the old woman.
Oh, maybe. I'm wondering, because my buddy that was telling me about it wasn't when the fridge was up there. It was a different time. And you just looked up there, and he said so I don't know, it could be the woman, but he said it was a he, and he's just leaning over the balcony, and he just stares at you, no matter where you walk. So, I don't know. Yeah,
it definitely, I mean, it has the potential, and I completely agree. I think that they added this at the last second. Yeah, even they say they did, that they added this at the last minute.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I mean, this is totally going to be a great game.
Oh,
it's a shame it's only being released on PS4.
Well, they haven't said yet. They won't say. I've looked everywhere, and everyone says we don't know. Nobody knows. They just did the demo on PlayStation 4, because all the other Silent Hills were like on everything pretty much.
Right.
So I don't know. You never know. Sony could have like swooped in and gave Del Toro and Kojima like, oh, here's a shit ton of money. Let's just do this on PlayStation.
I hope not.
Because I mean, all right. Norman Reedus, that's all I'll say. He's the star of it. You knew that, right?
Oh, yes.
Yeah. All right, we'll move on.
Okay.
We can't talk about PT forever.
Number 26, A Machine for Pigs.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah. One can see the inspiration from Upton St. Clair's 1906 novel The Jungle in Amnesia, A Machine for Pigs. It is not a literal adaptation of the book, which was famous for its portrayal of the atrocities committed in Chicago slaughterhouses. Players take on the role of Oswald Mandus, a Victorian-era mogul who was affected with the loss of memory, who at some point in the past built a gigantic device known only as the Machine. But you have no idea what it does or why it's important. With your whole family gone missing, it's up to you, yes, you, to find out what happened to them and delve deep into the Machine and discover the truth of your identity.
Ooh, that sounds good.
The game looks really good. It's another one I've watched a bunch of Let's Plays on, and it definitely is really good for that jump scare. You know, that coming around a corner and it pops up in your face real quick. The jump scare is great. The story's pretty good. I mean, it has those moments where you're being chased and you have to run.
Yeah.
But, you know, you're doing stuff in the dark and you're moving around in the dark, and it can be a little fucking terrifying. I do like it, though. I think that's a good game.
This one sounds like, with a novel backing it up, it sounds like it could have all the jump scares and the runaway terrified. It sounds like it could have that wrapped up with, like, an amazing, like, story and twists, and, like, you find out, oh, well, your family's missing because you have amnesia, and you came into the pig slaughterhouse, and you accidentally put your family into the grinders, and that's what you've been eating for the last week, all those hamburgers you had were your family.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, I don't know what the story is, but that's just, like, the first thing I thought of.
I'm not 100% on the storyline, but I get the impression that he may or may not have fed his family to the Machine.
Ooh, that actually sounds way good. Just the story.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah. So this one has good potential. So let's move on to 25. It's a game I have never heard of.
Have
you heard of it?
Me neither. I read it today, and I've watched some Let's Plays just today, and it looks okay. The graphics are absolute crap, but like, it's called SCP-870, It says SCP-870. That's a tongue twister. Is
That's
one
a
of the
terrible name.
Yeah, I don't know. SCP-870 is one of the many stories SCP holds within its archives. For those not in the know, SCP stands for Secure, Contain, Protect. A foundation that's not unlike something you might see in the X-Files, Fringe, or Warehouse 13. So the organization works to secure and contain what the fuck? Anomalous objects, codenamed Safe, Eclude, and Keter, depending on the threat they pose or their behavior. So it sounds like it's a big warehouse that like some underground secret government agency is hiding all these boxes, and like kind of like in Ghostbusters, they have these little things that are holding ghosts, and they like label the boxes or something with different threat levels. And I guess in one particular box is a still object that says it's a man-sized doll that needs constant monitoring by a live human, and any failure to observe it, even for a split second, will cause the doll to move towards you and kill you. That makes up for the core of the game. So it sounds like Toy Story, the horror version, because it's a man-sized doll that every time you look at him, he goes to toy mode, and he doesn't move or do anything. But as soon as you're not looking at him, he's coming towards you trying to kill you.
Yeah, that could be a thing.
Could be. It sounds like the opposite of Slender Man, which is later on the list we'll talk about. But I don't know. It could be interesting, but I think the story sounds better than the game, because the gameplay I watched, it basically looks like you're just walking up or downstairs, and sometimes something pops up.
Yeah.
Honestly, that's what it looked like. So, I don't know. I think it's number 25 on the list for a reason. And I think number 27 and number 26 that we just read, I think both of those were added later on. And I don't think they're actually 27 and 26.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
Because it says on the one we were just talking about, A Machine for Pigs, it actually says that's tied for number 6. So, not 26. So this one is actually number 25. This is the worst one on the list, actually, technically. Which, I guess it's on the list, but it doesn't look that good. So we'll move on.
Yeah, let's move on. Let's move on to number 24, Sanitarium. No, it's not based off the Metallica song. Sanitarium is a horror adventure game where you play as an amnesiac patient who arrived in a mental asylum after his car crashed and is now trying to figure out what's going on. The mystery doesn't lie in the titular facility, but the world's trapped inside your head. Part allegory, part symbolism, all disturbing, Sanitarium is a story that sends you through your own warped and unknown psyche, filled with deformed children, some missing their eyes, ancient gods, and ghosts from your past. The settings pay homage to classic Universal horror films of the 1930s that lend to the perfect aesthetic to match the pace of the game. Yeah, it does. Just looking at the screenshots here,
yeah, it doesn't look scary.
Well, it doesn't necessarily look scary. Maybe it's just one of those games that makes you sit back and think about things, and that's kind of where you get the scary part.
Yeah.
But it definitely has that Sims feel. I can definitely see that.
I'm seeing a theme here, though. I think almost every one of these games, other than we don't know the story of the new Silent Hill, but all the other ones, oh, no, not the last one that we said. But anyways, a lot of them have to do with some dude having amnesia and being like, oh shit, what's going on?
Well, I guess it's kind of playing on the fear of the unknown kind of thing.
Yeah, that's like the easiest way to get to the unknown, though. You don't even have to write any story. You just say, oh, this happened. Like, you can literally come up with any backstory and say, oh, now he has amnesia. That seems like a cop-out to an easy backstory. Like, if I was sat down in an office and was like, all right, what's scary? Not knowing what's going on, right? Let's see. When it's dark, you don't know what's going on, but what else? We gotta have something you can see in the game. What if the dude has amnesia? Yeah, okay. How does he get amnesia? I don't care. Whatever.
He bumped his head.
Slipped. He was making toast, and when he went to grab his toast, he hit his head on the cabinet, fell over. Amnesia. There you go. Oh, that's a good backstory. Yeah.
Let's do that.
In a world where you reach for your toast too hastily, you wake up, and stuff has gone awry. See, it's like I don't know. To me, that seems cheap. That seems like an easy backstory to write. to just say, oh, they're amnesiac.
Yeah.
But that's kind of the story of Silent Hill a little bit. It had real story before they start forgetting what's going on. So it's not really the same thing.
Right.
But I don't know. I guess it'd be good if you give it a good story. This one, Sanitarium, doesn't look good. So we'll move on.
Let's move on.
Fuck the Metallica song. Number 23. Ooh, 23. They should have put the 23 game. Did they have a 23 game for the 23 movie with Jim Carrey?
I'm sure we could go back to last week's episode and find out.
Yeah, could. We talked to... All right, so number 23, Scratches. Ooh, Scratches. Like that, Scratches. Scratches.
That sounded kind of scary.
Did it? I wasn't sure if it'd pick it up on the mic there.
Just barely.
Well, that's probably what's in the game. Let's see. It says Scratches is an adventure horror game from Argentinian developer Agustin. I'm going to try and pronounce his name. Agustin Cordes. Released in 2006, so it's not too old. Well, technically it's 8 years old. I guess that is old. It places you in first-person perspective of Michael Artharte, a mystery author seeking seclusion to work on his next book. But after he's moved in, he discovers that the house contains a secret past, and he can literally hear scratches all around the house. Oh, that'd be creepy. You're all walking up to your fridge, hear a scratch. What the fuck was that? It's a puzzle game at heart. The atmosphere and tension are pitch perfect, as the moments are timed to ratchet up the player's terror using next to nothing, just scratches. You'll be scared of sounds and the cinematic tricks of the trade as you end up committing all the things you yell at characters in movies not to do. Like, don't go in there. Yeah, but I heard a scratch noise. So the whole game is based on the title, Scratches.
That's really strange. But, I mean, who knows? It might be decent.
It sounds like the one that just, like it said, it just builds tension. And honestly, it could never even show you any of the monsters. You just hear scratches and, like, weird stuff going on. And I think that would be good for a while, but I don't know if that would hold me forever. Eventually, you're going to have to reveal something. Show me what's scratching. Or maybe, like, slowly reveal the mystery. Like, I see claw marks eventually. And, like, eventually it's like, oh, try and take a picture with your phone. And you snap a picture with your phone and you see, like, some fur through, like, a hole in the wall or something. Something to, like, keep building the tension and keep making you be like, what the fuck?
That's one of my favorites where you, like, you know, you take that picture of something, or even if you're taking a picture of yourself and then you see in the picture there's something behind you.
Ooh,
yeah,
no.
I like shit like that.
No. Candyman, no.
No Candyman?
No, I almost said his name again. That would have been 3 times.
Oh, you'd have been fucked.
Yeah, can't record the podcast if I'm gone. Dead.
Dead, you say?
Yes.
That sounds like a lot like number 22 on our list.
Does it?
Yeah, it's called Dead Space.
Oh.
Talk about a segue.
No, let's talk about Dead Space.
All right. Well, what can be said about Dead Space that hasn't already been said? It was the game to turn certain monster fighting conventions on their head. Players trained to aim for the head soon found themselves out of their depth, as the only way to kill the necromorphs were to cut their limbs off, the same limbs being slashed in your face, ready to cut it off at any moment's notice. The USG Ishiruma was a terrifying setting with half of the ship in disrepair and the other half filled with slavering monsters. So not only was Dead Space the master of the jump scare, it gave you the uneasy feeling the whole time you were in the ship would fall apart under your feet. And then there was the Shoggoth in the tumbler dryer. Yeah, I never played Dead Space, so I'm totally useless for this particular conversation.
Yeah, that's where we mentioned it for like a split second earlier.
Yeah.
But as we're reading these, and now that we're hearing like these good stories, I don't know, this one, that one sentence they put in there to describe the game, it gives you the uneasy feeling the whole time you were in it that the ship would fall apart right under your feet. I feel like they meant for it to do that, but I doubt that it really feels like the ship is going to fall apart the entire time. I don't think you could get that involved into a game that you're like, oh shoot, I hope this level doesn't fall apart so that I can't keep walking here. I think you're more interested in like the characters are like dying. I don't think anyone was honestly like, oh crap, the ship's falling apart. But maybe, I don't know. I haven't played it, so like you, neither of us have played this, so we shouldn't speak out of school. Yeah, moving on. Silent Hill, the original,
number 21.
Yes, this was released back in 1999. Q.
I remember very well.
Yeah, back on the original PlayStation, I believe. Yep. And it says, the processing power of the PlayStation wasn't up to snuff. And as Konami discovered, to get their entry into the survival horror game, somebody doesn't know how to write sentences here.
Nope, terrible summary.
Blah, 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 blah. Basically, it says what it sounds like what they meant because they don't know how to write. Konami, the developers, it sounds like they added fog to obscure stuff, so that the PlayStation wasn't having to render anything in the background. So not only did it was like two birds with one stone, because it didn't have to render anything, so they could have pretty good detail for it being a regular PlayStation game, because it's just what's right in front of you. Everything else is foggy. And it added like a kind of here we go, like a good sentence that he put together here. The game had a clever way of keeping you on edge. Because of the fog and the ways that it would use sound instead of sight to make you do what it wanted. It could force you out into the street with only 2 bullets in your gun, with the sound of flying monsters growing louder or fading away as you ambled across the deserted thoroughfare.
I really liked that. That was one of the first games that I had played that did, here's you a gun. This gun is really good, but you've only got 2 bullets for it.
Yes.
I remember that, and I remember hitting a button and then firing the gun and be like, oh, God damn it.
Do you remember the moment you wake up in the Jeep?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I agree. I love that game. Silent Hill is a good game.
I mean, I didn't play this one as much as I did Silent Hill 2. I think I only played through this one once.
Yeah.
But I really enjoyed it. I mean, for a PlayStation 1 game, in its time, it was a really good game. And it did have that jump scare thing going on, so it was a lot of fun.
Yeah. It had not only the jump scare, but it had kind of the, like it said, have you on edge the whole time, which is kind of like the jump scare, but not.
Well, that's the part of where you know the jump scare is coming,
yeah.
You just don't know when.
Yeah.
And a lot of games that you could say, all right, here it comes, get ready, I'm ready for it, let's do this. And with the Silent Hill series, it was that constant feeling of like, no matter what you were doing, you could be standing still for 10 minutes, then all of a sudden you get the jump scare. I mean, It was that impression that it gave you. I love the Silent Hill games.
Oh, yeah. I think another thing that they did really good that nobody was doing up to this point, at least that I remember. I mean, because I was only, 11 or so when this game came out. But not only the jump scare, but also once you saw the thing, they had like weird, creepy fucking shit. And you were like, what the fuck? Yeah. And so then it would like confuse your brain and you would be like, what the fuck is going on? What stuff is melting away? And there's like weird demons that you've never seen before. Like nothing that everyone imagined what a demon looked like before. Yeah. So they did it right. I think.
Yeah, they did this absolutely perfect.
Yeah, no, and Silent Hill, I'm pretty sure everyone knows the name, and that's like what they define as horror games. You ask anybody what's a good horror game, they're probably in their top 5 is going to be one of the Silent Hill games.
Absolutely.
So number 20.
Number 20 is a game I have never heard of. Yeah. Number 20 is a game called Obscure. Obscure focused on a group of 5 high school seniors who stumble upon a laboratory where biological experiments are being performed. The students must then fight their way out in order to warn the remaining student body. The enemies are sensitive to light with direct sunlight destroying them. I wish I could read. Flashlights can be used to slightly weaken the monsters and then the black aurora surrounding them. The game features all the standard tropes you can come to expect from a B movie. The scarcity of ammunition, health items, and save reels were ripped from the early Resident Evil games, but Obscure adds a whole new dimension. If a character dies, it doesn't end the game, as the story simply continues on without them. However, you will grow quite attached to the characters, and frankly, you will need every hand available to survive to the end. That kind of sounds fun. I like the concept of, I'm like, all right, well, Joe's dead, and... Yeah. You can go back to a save point that you hit an hour ago, or you just say, fuck it, let's keep going.
Yeah.
I kind of like that.
Sounds good. That's what I thought when I read it. It sounds good, but from the trailer and some gameplay I watched, it doesn't look good. I'm sorry to whoever made it. It doesn't say here, but it just, like, yeah, they added a cool dimension of, oh yeah, he's dead. I guess we continue on without him. But other than that, like, it doesn't even look like it affects the game at all. Like, it's just like, if you ended up being attached to them or being like, oh, damn it, that chick was hot. Too bad she's dead. Oh, well. The game just goes on. Other than that, they didn't go far enough with it. They didn't go like, oh shit, Joe was the jock, and now we can't move this soda pop machine as easily as if we just had Joe here. Yeah. Shit like that. It didn't look like they took advantage of it. It looked like they just had it. But maybe I haven't watched enough. I don't know. Honestly, it doesn't look that good. I'll give it like a 4 out of 10 from what I've seen already.
I agree.
Sound like a lot of these, the story sounds good. When you sit down and start writing it, it sounds good, and then something gets lost in translation, gets jumbled, and by the time they make the game, it's just shite. Drink more vodka. The game is good. Game
will get better. Just drink more. Drink more
vodka.
Yeah.
Such a good game. Come on. You killed Joe. He not come back. It's not like other game. Come on.
All right, well, let's move on. Read me number 19.
All right, I have no mouth, and I must scream.
What the fuck kind of name is that?
I do not know. Let's read. A cookie to those who recognize the game or the 1968 short story off of which it is based. It's a supercomputer called AM-109. No. Somebody doesn't know how to write punctuation either.
A comma would have saved that sentence.
It's a supercomputer called AM. It's 109 years ago. Drink more. You read better. Come on. You know who needs punctuation in describing game? You don't need punctuation. You need vodka.
More vodka, because it would make much more sense.
So a supercomputer called AM or AM. I say it as AM because I assume it stands for something like awesome machine. I am awesome machine.
I am the awesome machine. That'd be good.
That'd be awesome. They gave it Mr. Vodka gave it his voice. You run away. I come and kill you. I supercomputer. Okay. I sponsored by vodka.
Okay. All right. Well, this game, it sounds horrible.
Yeah, I'm not even going to read the description, because not only did I don't know who wrote this article, but he does not write sentences, his punctuation is crap, so it's honestly making us sound really terrible, like we don't know how to read. It's giving me horror flashbacks. Here's a horror game they need to make back in like 3rd grade, when you're sitting in class and you don't want to read out loud, and you're like, oh, teacher, please don't pick on me, and then the teacher picks on you. And then, like, a sting pops up, and it's like, press A to make an excuse. Oh, shit, I have to go to the bathroom, teacher.
Yeah, it definitely gives that impression when it is a adventure-style game, and you control 5 different characters as they face individual trials of speared eyeballs and dripping guts and the smell of rotten gardenias. Like, you know, that's a very, very vivid description, but how many people listening to this know what a gardenia is? And then the fact of what it smells like, and then on top of that, what a rotting gardenia will smell like. Like, really? That's what the fuck? But it's definitely one of those games where you've got like the static background, and the characters move across the static background, and there's no real interaction between the character and the area that it's in. It's just kind of like that. It's kind of got that like old Game Boy feel to it, where you've got a background going on, but the characters are just kind of walking. They're not really, almost like they're superimposed over top of it, not being actually within the setting.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not even worth it. I hope the game is good, but I don't think it definitely matches our list at number 19.
No, there's no way that's 19. It shouldn't be on the list from what it looks like. I mean, there's a certain extent you can get away with graphics being terrible. But when your story sounds terrible, the descriptions for the game sound terrible, everything about it sounds terrible. The story behind it, like, oh, there's 5 different characters and you play each one of their individual trials. That just sounds like too much. Why don't you just have me play one character and I just interact with the other 4 characters?
Exactly. Well, let's just skip that and go on to number 18. And I really felt like this game should be higher up on the list.
Yes. We'll talk about this for a minute, because I just played it last night for my YouTube channel. Played it for like an hour.
So that number 18 is Slender.
Known as Slender Man.
Slender Man. Some might argue that Slender isn't so much of a game as it is a short interactive experience that's built right into your browser, but I'd argue otherwise. The game's platform has no merit on whether it is a game or not, and the fact that you'll need a fresh pair of pants when you're done playing it is about the only thing that matters when you do play it. All thoughts of whether it's a game or not a game fly out the window the moment you hear the creeping static of the Slender Man, and your screen starts to go fuzzy as he approaches you at a pace that's so rapid it'll make your heart fall out of your chest. If you love scares, do yourself a favor and play this one with the lights off and the headphones on. This really is an absolutely fucking terrifying game.
Yeah.
Like, everything about this game is terrifying. You did hear about the girl, was it in like Wisconsin or something like that, where the girl killed her friend because Slender Man told her to. Do you remember hearing about that?
What?
Yeah, this was back 5, maybe 6 months ago. She was in elementary school. She was like a 4th or 5th grader, and it was her and her friend lured another one of their friends out into the woods behind their house, and they just stabbed her to death. They literally just cut her up.
What?
Yes.
Fuck?
100%. I'll have to find the article and like put it in the link dump or something, because she totally killed because Slender Man told her to.
Honey, that's not Slender Man. That's Uncle Jed. He's drunk again.
Yeah, no shit.
You can't listen to him.
But everything about this game was scary. I mean, just the simplicity of the game, the simplicity of the graphics.
Yeah, it's so good. It
was terrifying. And then
what do you think makes it work? Like, why is it scary?
Honestly, I think what makes this game scary is the audio. And it's not the sound of the static or that weird noise when he shows up. It's that like constant walking through the woods, that crunch, 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 crunch. And then, it's like crunch, crunch. And you're standing there.
You know what my favorite is?
What?
The audio. It's along with the audio too, but there's like, when he's not around, you can hear like crickets and birds.
Yes. Yeah.
As soon as he's around, you can't hear him. And you're like, oh, fuck, he's here. And you just keep hearing your crunch, crunch. And then you hear like music coming in, and then you hear like the static coming in, and you're like, oh fuck, where is he? Where is he? Where is he? And then you try to run back to where the crickets are, like the crickets comfort you. You're like, oh yes, crickets. Oh yes.
Yeah, I mean, it really is. The article here really does it justice when it says, turn the lights off, put the headphones on, play by yourself with your back to the door behind you, and just play this game, because it's really a terrifying game.
Yeah, no, play with your back to an open window of darkness.
There you go.
There you go. You won't be able to. You'll get 20 minutes in and you'll move.
You're done.
You'll think Slender Man is outside. Oh, it's such a good game. If you haven't played it yet, everyone's had to have heard of it by now.
Well, the hope is everyone listening to this podcast has at least heard of it, if not has played it at least a little bit. Because, or even if you haven't played it, you need to go to the Rooster Teeth channel and watch Gavin and Michael play this game, because this is just, that's some of their best work. So let's move on to 17.
Yeah, again, like you said, I think Slender Man's not 18. I think it deserves to at least be in the top 10.
Yes.
But let's see what's below it. Maybe we shouldn't talk so soon. Here we go, number 17, Siren. And Siren Blood Curse, which I think was DLC for Siren.
Yes.
And this is, it says, the rural, that's a weird word when you try to read it.
Mm-hmm.
The rural village where human sacrifice once took place is now populated by the nightmares of Japanese folklore, with creatures that lie somewhere between ghost and zombie. The village is always dark, and the denizens,
correct,
always murderous, and had non-linear storytelling, complete with interweaving narratives with the different characters. Both the games feature a strong emphasis on stealth, meaning you have to hide instead of fight. Furthermore, there's the sight-jacking mechanic, where with a tune of the analog stick, you can look through the enemy's eyes as they approach the very closet you're hiding. Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, that could be terrifying.
I don't know if I want to do that.
So this one definitely makes it far up on the list, because this is a good game.
Is it?
Yes.
I never played it.
Yes, I have played it, and it is I don't know if I would put it. Well, yeah, I would put it right there with Slender Man, because there are times when you're either hiding behind a tree or you're hiding like outside of a room around the corner, and here this thing comes, and you kind of like you kind of switch to like their first person view of the creature, and it's kind of like ambling towards you. I mean, I don't think it's as scary as Slender Man, but it's a really neat game mechanic.
Huh. All right. Well, speaking of game mechanics, we're going to talk about it in a minute, and we're going to talk about one of my favorite horror games of all time that is nowhere on this list, that just came out. And I'm going to tell you, we're going to talk about game mechanics more when we get later down the list, because I think it's important, and I think people need to start doing it in horror games, because hardly any horror games have done it up to this point. None that I can think of, other than the game I'm thinking of. But we'll keep moving down the list. Let's see, 16, Rule of Rose.
This psychological horror game is a different sort than any others on this list. There is no supernatural element, just very screwed up kids being psychopathically horrible to one another, but most importantly, to you. The game draws influence from the cruelty found in the fairy tales of the Brothers Grimm, the original ones, not the sanitized Disney knockoffs. You play 19-year-old Jennifer, who has become trapped with no memory in a world ruled by young girls who have established a class hierarchy based on the cruelty displayed to others. So here's another one of those, I have no memory, what's going on with me?
Kind of, except this is the one, before we started recording, I was watching it, and I was telling you, fuck this game, I'm not playing it. Because there was little girls pouring gasoline on each other.
Holy shit.
And they're tying up, like little girls, they're tying up and like torturing adults. And like there's some fucked up shit going on in this game, dude.
What platform is this?
Oh, man, we better look that up. I assume it's just PC, probably PlayStation, because it looks like a Chinese game or a Japanese game. And they normally push to PlayStation platform, PlayStation 2. Rule of Rose has a 9.3 out of 10 from GameStop.
Damn.
So it was released in 2006, but it looks so good, but it looks so fucked up, dude. Some of the stuff in just the trailer alone, like what these girls are doing to each other and then to adults, and then and then there's like weird, like maybe it's just the way the trailer looks, but there's like weird, like kind of like perverted scenes where there's like a dude peeking through the door watching the girls.
What?
Yeah, before they fucking like decide to tie him up and like do shit to him. Like, dude, it looks like a good game. It looks like my type of game.
Because you're fucked up, or you're a peeping Tom? Or all of the above.
No comment.
All right. Well, I might have to track that one down for the.
I mean, you play as a 19-year-old girl. Come on.
Nice.
So it looks good. I'm gonna have to get that and try it. I think I have a PlayStation 2 somewhere in my closet. I'm gonna have to play that, put it up on the stream, so people can see how fucked up it is. I hope it's as fucked up as it looks. Maybe it's not. But moving on, 15, Condemned, Criminal Origins. Now, isn't that the second one of the Condemned series, the Criminal Origins?
I think it was. Yeah, actually, I think because I think Condemned was on the regular Xbox, wasn't it?
Yeah, and then I think Criminal Origins was
the 360.
Yeah. Condemned as a detective story that was overlooked when it first came out, early in the 360's lifespan. So yeah, I think it was it wasn't like the first wave, but I think it was like second wave or so, that holiday season.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Which is kind of weird. I know it was nowhere near Halloween, so that's probably why it didn't do very well for a horror title, but it says you play Ethan Thomas, an agent tasked with investigating the lower rung of society while searching for a serial killer. So it sounds good. With the rest of the world going mad around you, so hobos and junkies are jumping out from the shadows to bludgeon you. The atmosphere is what puts it over the top. As Ethan tracks down the city streets. Again, that sentence doesn't make sense, good sir. While the game feels rather out there, the crime investigations and crunch of the bones keep it close enough to reality to be truly unsettling. So it sounds like you're just tracking a serial killer, and then there's some kind of like dystopian world where everyone's just killing everybody and nobody cares. So it sounds like it could be good, but I don't know.
Yeah.
I haven't played the Condemned series. I've heard really good things about it and really bad things about it. Like it's crap, it's not scary, it's stupid. So, again, I don't know if Slender Man should definitely be above this.
I 100% agree with that.
But next, number 14, Fear.
Fear.
This just says Fear, but I'm going to assume they're talking about Fear 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah, let's see. Alma. That's all you really that needs to be said about this game. Little girls are scary, especially psychic little girls with long dark hair covering their faces who appear in the middle of empty corridors. As for the game itself, the shooting is great and the AI smart, but it's the nightmare moments that really shine. The worlds go topsy-turvy, and your character sees things that aren't there out of the corner of his vision. Fear provides one thing that other gun-filled, fast-paced action super soldier horror games don't, in that the character you are playing is constantly unnerved. The slight sway of his gun and the shallowness of his breath during and after these nightmarish events make you believe they are happening, and the character is vulnerable to having his mind fucked.
Yeah. Have you played Fear?
Yes.
All of them?
No.
Okay. So you haven't played Fear 3, the origin story?
No.
Oh, man.
I played the first one.
I don't know if I want to spoil what happens in Fear 3.
No, you can spoil away, because I will probably never revisit those games.
Okay, spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert.
For Fear 3. If you haven't played any of the Fears... Fear 3 is an origin story, so this will ruin pretty much... it won't ruin it, but it'll kind of unveil like what's going on in the story, why Alma is so angry at you, maybe. But so towards the end of Fear 3, you're getting closer and closer to her, and you learn more and more, and you see scenes where, like, you find out she's your mother, and then she ends up raping you in the game. She holds you down, like, I think she, like, possesses a tree, and the tree holds you down as she rapes you and gets on top of you, naked. You can't see nipples, but you see most everything else. Mm-hmm. And then towards the very end of the game, because Fear 3 you can play one of two different brothers, and so there's the one that got raped, and then there's unless I'm remembering this wrong, this sounds really like a fucked up story. There's no way they would put this out there, but this is how I remember it. I swear this is what happened. You play one of the two brothers in the game, and you can like switch back and forth. But there's two alternate endings depending which brother you were playing when you got to the final scene. So there's the one brother that got raped, and at the end of the game you kill your mother, and then you like cut the baby out of her, and then you take it and you leave. And then the other brother, if you played with him when you played the end of the game, you come in and you kill them both. You kill everybody. You like kill your brother, and you kill the mom, and you definitely kill the baby, and you go, this is a fucked up family, and then you leave. So it was like a really weird ending to like tie it up, that I guess she was like psychotic. I don't know, she wanted to keep it in the family or something.
It's a game the whole family can play.
It was really weird, but I remember the ending. I liked it. Again, that's my kind of game.
Nice.
But I don't think Fear should be this high on list for horror games, because it's not scary. It's not really. It has slight jump scares, but really it's a good shooter game, but it's not a good horror game.
I would put it more in the realm of like a good suspense game. I mean, it's definitely a shooter, but more suspense, less horror.
Yeah.
Exactly. Once again, why is this game above Slender?
Exactly. Slender, you cannot play by yourself when all the lights are out for more than maybe 5-10 minutes. This game, you can easily finish the entire game by yourself.
I agree.
So number 13.
13.
Haunting Ground. This one looks like another crap game, honestly. I'm going to tell you right away.
I agree.
Fiona wakes up in a cage after a car accident and little memory of what happened before. Oh, she has amnesia. No. What happened? Oh no, I got in a car accident and I don't have a memory. Oh no. Oh look, he even put it in parentheses here. This seems to be a reoccurring theme with horror games. Yeah, no shit.
It's a terrible one.
Yeah, every single horror game, that's how it starts. If it's a bad game.
It seems to be that way.
Blah, blah, blah. I'm not even going to read it. It looks like crap. It should not be this high on the list. It does not look good. The graphics suck. The story sounds crap. I mean, it starts with a car accident and memory loss cue. That is not going to equal a good game.
It's the same as always. Let's move on.
Yeah, so just note to self, all you listeners, note to me, note to Q. If it starts with a car accident and then they wake up and go, what happened? Just turn the game off.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not going to be good.
But in a game that doesn't starts you out in a car accident with no memory. Number 12, Silent Hill 4, The Room.
Silent Hill, the remix.
Silent Hill 4 is an odd entry for the Silent Hill series because it's the only one that doesn't take you to the title or town. Instead, you are locked in a room in your apartment building and have to find your way out. The room acts as your hub and your safe haven through the game as you travel through various supernatural locations filled with ghosts, monsters, and general mind-fuckery. One of my favorite words. The Silent Hill series in general is well known for these things. Halfway through, the game upsets all your expectations and learned behavior. It teaches you the rules of the world, and then it betrays you. Ghosts invade your safe haven, launching you into a new direction of horror. Suddenly, nowhere is safe. I actually played this game. It was kind of fun.
What? I haven't played it.
Yeah, it was good. It was okay. You know, I would give it like a 5.5 or a 6 out of 10. I don't think I would give it anything better than that. I mean, even as they said in the description, as an entry into the Silent Hill series, I don't think that it was like. It's almost to the point when you get into a series of games where you've got like, you know, Silent Hill 4, Silent Hill 5, or whatever. It kind of gets to a point where it's just kind of like, all right, fine, fuck it. What are we going to do now? Let's just do this. Let's just plug and play, put the Silent Hill name on it, and move on from there.
Yeah.
You know, it's just nothing. It's nothing.
Was the game you were just in a room and it was kind of like the PT where stuff just keeps resetting and slightly changing?
A little bit like that. Yeah, I guess that's a good way to describe it, because there are times when you walk down a hallway and you kind of come back to where you started from. And yeah, it was that kind of thing with some puzzles, kind of. Yeah, I guess that's about the best way to sum it. I'm trying not to compare it to PT, but it kind of is.
Because PT looks way better?
Yeah, well, it's not necessarily the graphics. Because, I mean, I can always overlook graphics.
Yeah.
If the story's good or the mechanic's good, I can always overlook graphics.
Yeah, well, I don't mean the graphics. I mean the PT graphics look fucking amazing. But I mean just the gameplay of that demo, just walking around in the hallway. I don't know, it's good. It feels good.
But yeah, I mean, it's a game. It had its jump scare moments, but I'm still a little upset because I've yet to find a game thus far that why is it ahead of Slenderman?
Maybe the next one. Penumbra. The Penumbra series. I guess there was more than one. The series is full of an atmosphere of horror, and the setting is as much a character as the unfortunate man whom you play. You'll spend half the time being terrified of nothing, and the music, sound, and environments will have you jumping at empty dark corners, flickering lights in your own paranoid imagination. There is danger, but the game knows it doesn't have to do much or anything at all to keep you on your toes. It knows you'll scare yourself stupid so long as it hangs its sword of Damocles over your head. I don't know what the sword of Damocles is. Do you know what that is, Q?
I have no idea.
Oh, well, I don't know. We'll just pretend it doesn't say that. I did watch some trailers on this, and I'll tell you what looks good about the game is how much stuff you can do. You can open drawers, you can tighten vices, you can open and shut lockers, but instead of just opening and shutting, you can literally use the mouse to control open and shutting. So you can open a little bit, you can open it all the way. The same with doors and everything. So it's not like a press it and it does an action. Right. You literally do all the actions.
Okay,
so
that's kind of cool.
It does look like a game, like it said, basically. You're scaring yourself just because of like stuff that's going on, but nothing ever really happens. So it feels kind of like when you walk into your basement at night, nothing's really happening down there, but you're like freaked out. You hear noises that don't even actually happen and stuff like that. So it looks okay. It still shouldn't be above Slenderman.
Yeah, but I tell you what, number 10 is a game that got me into playing horror games, and I don't know if I would put number 10 Resident Evil 2 above Slenderman or just below Slenderman. In my opinion, because
above it, I'd put Slender. I don't know what's below this, so we'll say 10 and 9. I'd put Slenderman 10, Resident Evil 2 right below it 9, just barely.
I 100% agree with you, because before I even read the description, this game was the first game that I played with the lights out by myself. And let's see, I was probably, when I played this game, I think I was probably 11 or 12. Yeah. And I think that was a huge mistake.
Oh, yeah. I think that's when I played it. Somewhere around there.
This game was terrifying. I remember one particular scene sticks out. He's walking through the police station, and he's walking by these windows. And they reach through the windows real quick. I don't care how many fucking times I had to go back and replay it to get 100% and get to find all the shit and do everything correctly. Every single fucking time I went past those windows, it scared the shit out of me. It didn't matter. I knew it was coming. It's like, all right, here it comes. Oh my God. Every time. But while the first Resident Evil game invented the formula, it is difficult to take seriously thanks to the poor voice acting. You'll end up laughing during any serious moments, which I 100% agree with that. Resident Evil 2 may not have great voice acting, but you won't burst out laughing. It also contains a superior set of pulls and better scares. The first game was memorable for a number of scenes with dogs bursting through windows, but the scene happens in a bright hallway during normal gameplay. Resident Evil 2 ups the ante by pulling the same stunt in a room you can barely see while you're fussing with the inventory. It was the single greatest jump scare in gaming and stays with you long afterwards. The scene is simply emblematic of how the game pulls off its scares better than the original, and I could not agree more. I have played many of the other ones after Resident Evil 2, but this one will always be the best one in my opinion.
Yeah, I remember that exact scene. I don't think I'll ever forget it. I think I threw the controller.
Yeah, it was just... There's nothing more to be said about Resident Evil 2 than it is just a good old-fashioned damn scary game with a good storyline. And that's what made it so much better, is it was a good story, it was a relatable story, and it didn't have fucking amnesia.
Nope, didn't know amnesia. I think we're in a unique genre here, the horror games. I think these are the only types of games that really graphics don't matter, and you can go back and play these. If you haven't played Resident Evil 2, I might even go back and play. I swear I have a PlayStation 2 in my closet. I need to go look. I'm going to buy some of these games and replay them.
Yeah, because Resident Evil 2 was just...
I remember that was my favorite, I think.
It was hands down my favorite. I love the puzzles, and I love the little bits and pieces of the, you've got to go, you have to, you have to collect all the chess pieces. I think that was in Resident Evil 2. That might have been in Resident Evil 3. But I remember you were having to find the chessboard did something and it was missing the bishop. I remember specifically having to go find the bishop. But I don't remember if it was in 2 or 3. But still, yeah, absolute great series, hands down. I mean, just, print that shit over and over again because that game is just great.
Mm-hmm. Finally, one that should probably be above Slender Man a little bit.
Yes.
Let's go to the next one, number 9. I haven't heard of this game either. The Seventh Guest. In the early 90s, full motion video with live actors were all the rage in video games. Oh, those pictures are moving.
Holy shit, Batman.
Seventh Guest was a game where its implementation wasn't campy, but rather unsettling and done so on purpose. You play an amnesiac? Never mind, fuck this game, dude.
Moving on.
So, another amnesia? Are you kidding me?
We just need to move on from there. Like, fuck it. It doesn't matter what it is. It has amnesia. Let's just move on.
Oh my god. Look, you play an amnesiac who has to figure out what happened to the other 6 guests. Who fucking cares? I'm tired of them. Can't there be something else? Instead of having him have amnesia, can't you just all be staying at a hotel and you come out of the room and you're alone and then you're like, what the fuck? How come you have to have amnesia? You don't have to have amnesia to come into a situation which is, you're like, what the fuck?
Yeah, I completely agree. Let's move on.
Yeah, fuck Seventh Guest. Don't play it.
Number 8, Clock Tower. Clock Tower is a point-and-click game set in Norway. Jennifer Simpson, no kin to me, a young girl, finds herself adopted by a wealthy recluse named Mr. Burroughs, who lives in a mansion called Clock Tower. Shit hits the fans as the adopted girl disappears in the night. Playing the role of Jennifer, the player has no choice but to figure out what happened to them. See, there you go. No amnesia. She just fucking disappeared. Like, that's totally acceptable within this genre. Things are bad enough with the unhinged Mary Burroughs, who brought the children to the mansion, but the introduction to Bobby, also known as Scissor Man, is where the game truly comes into its own. Gardening shears were never so frightening. The game becomes a contest of lethal hedge trimmers against your panic and ability to run as fast as the point-and-click interface will allow. Bobby hunts you relentlessly, and like every scary antagonist, he can come from anywhere, including bursting through the walls, out of the floorboards, and even drop from the ceiling. The game contains 9 different endings, including a secret one. 9 different endings for a Super Nintendo game.
Ooh,
Like,
this sounds like The Shining.
Yeah.
He's chasing you around, comes through the walls and the door and shit.
Here's Scissorman. But that actually sounds really good. I've not heard of this game.
Nope.
But the fact that you have a point and click game for the Super Nintendo that actually has 9 different endings, that's pretty fucking good for its time period.
Mm-hmm.
That's
the graphics look crap, but again, I'm telling you what, horror games, if they're good, I don't know why I keep putting the German the horror games, but if they're good, you won't notice graphics after about 5 minutes, 10 minutes, depending when it gets good.
Well, in this day and age, graphics really shouldn't mean shit when you've got an 8-bit video game that has sold billions of copies, and all you're doing is
Minecraft.
I mean, graphics. I know,
and graphics still come up in every conversation.
And graphics should not come up when you have Minecraft existing in the way it does.
No, it depends on the type of game it is, though, Q. When it's like a racing game, okay, let's talk graphics. Drive Club looks fucking amazing. It's only on PlayStation. I can't play it on the Xbox, so I'm not too worried about it. But like a horror game, again, we're going to talk about my favorite game that isn't on this list, and there's games that have way better graphics than it.
Yeah.
And it just came out, so.
Well, number 7.
Alone in the Dark. Sounds good so far. Let's see if anyone has Amnesia. Oh, I forget. I can't read.
I worry about you.
I have amnesia. I refer, of course, to the original Alone in the Dark, not the reboot or U-Ball movie based on the series. That must be some foreign movie.
Yeah.
The first Alone in the Dark. Oh, I remember Alone in the Dark, the movie. Oh, yeah. You remember Alone in the Dark, the movie?
No, I must have had amnesia. But
stupid.
Yeah, I agree.
The first Alone in the Dark is the game that more or less invented the survival horror genre. Oh yeah? That's fucking big words, guy. With its introduction of the concept of resource scarcity. Inspired by the writings of H.P. Lovecraft, the player takes on the role of Edward Carnby, a private investigator, as he sets off to explore a haunted house where an artist committed suicide. Ooh. Despite what we know of the basic premise, there's much more going on than the game lets on at the beginning. It starts off with the scares, but no building up and no big introduction to the threats. Within seconds of the game starting, monsters will swarm in and kill you. You have to know things practically ahead of time to prevent unknowable horrors and live throughout the adventure. So, I don't know, that sounds like too much of a learning curve immediately. That might put me off if I play it and within seconds of the game starting, I'm already killed. And you have to already figure out. Then it sounds like it's just, it sounds like those escape the room games where it's like, where do I press? And you just start pressing and trying every little thing. All right, that's how I beat that part. What do I do to this part? I don't know. The whole game could not be like that, but that's what it seems like off the bat.
Yeah.
Again, I guarantee it doesn't include one of the mechanics of one of my favorite games. Not on the list, Q. Let's keep going. We'll get to it.
All right, number 6, Call of Cthulhu, Dark Corners of the Earth. Cthulhu.
I think it's Cthulhu.
Cthulhu. It all depends on where you're from. Tomato, Cthulhu, whatever.
Yeah.
Based off of H.P. Lovecraft's The Shadow of the Innsmouth, is the first-person action survival horror game set in the town of Innsmouth. You play as Jack Walters, a man who has just been released from the mental institution but is still suffering from amnesia. Are you fucking serious?
Oh, and schizophrenia, though.
Oh, okay. Well, then that just makes it more fun, so he's not sure if it's legit or not. So let's move on.
Maybe...
Go ahead, fuck it. All right, you talk and then I talk.
That's exactly how the game goes. He has amnesia, he has schizophrenia, and he keeps going, maybe, and then his alter ego goes, fuck it, you talk, and then I'll go. And he goes, well, no, I forget. What was I saying?
Well, needless to say, you can't even trust yourself. You are given no HUD or indicators as to your character's health, and so you have to listen to his breathing and his heartbeat. A severe lack of weapons and ammo is a big problem where everyone is out to kill you. As with Lovecraft's novels, witnessing the more upsetting and otherworldly aspects of the environment will cause your to go insane. Who the fuck? Really? Really?
Some second grader typed this up.
Jesus fucking Christ. This is ridiculous.
I can't believe this is the list I chose to put on this episode.
I'm so sorry, listeners. This had nothing to do with me.
It makes it better. It makes it funny.
Fucking stupid Amnesia.
I don't even think that's how you spell Cthulhu. I swear it had a K in there.
No, that's 100%. That is the correct. The only thing that it's missing, depending on your pronunciation, is there's usually an
apostrophe.
Apostrophe. Thank you.
Apostle.
Usually there's an apostle after the C in Cthulhu, but the fact that he adds an extra R next to U is stupid, and it must have been the schizophrenia coming through.
Yeah. See, this game, I don't know.
I think it has potential until you let this jackass do the review for it.
Yeah. I don't know. It sounds like it could be good until you talk about Cthulhu. Why do you have amnesia and schizophrenia? All it seems to me is like a Shutter Island. You get to the end of the game and you wake up and it's like, oh, that was a fun...
Yeah, that was a ride.
Yeah.
Well,
fuck.
If you haven't read any of the Lovecraft novels...
Haven't.
Okay, well, see, there's kind of your problem, but I don't know. Not having played this game, I can't draw the parallels to it. But, I mean, if it's strongly based off a Lovecraft novel, it's going to be halfway decent. Just in story. Now, game mechanics, gameplay, the idea of having no HUD whatsoever, and having to mentally keep up with how many bullets you have in your gun and stuff like that. That's kind of cool. Like, I like that. I kind of like that, and the whole concept of having to listen to yourself breathing and stuff like that. I really like that. That sounds like that's a really cool mechanic to a game. But it's all fucking ruined when the guy has amnesia. Like, he has amnesia. How do you expect him to remember this shit? And then you throw in schizophrenia, so maybe he has more shit than he really thinks he does. Or he doesn't have as much stuff as he really does. Or whatever. Yeah.
Well, all right. We need to hurry and finish this list, because I just remembered another horror game that's not on this list that is pretty good and doesn't start with amnesia. So.
All right. Well, read me number 5, then.
Number 5. System Shock 2. 2, Q. There's 2 of these.
Yeah.
Ooh, there's something to be said for techno horror. Ooh, it's a genre terribly overlooked by developers, or not done to its fullest potential. System Shock 2 is a story of the machines we created becoming the monster that's out to destroy us. The very things we made to help make our lives easier will instead end them. So, iRobot kind of thing, I think?
The Matrix.
Yeah. The flickering lights and the blood all over the ship are a nice backdrop. But it is Shodan that steals the show. It is Shodan that will terrify you, because what recourse does anyone have against a perfect intellect who charts everything you can or would do to oppose her, while instructing you on how to do it? Doesn't need to be in the top 10. Slenderman's better. Sorry. Better. Doesn't sound good at all.
All right. Well, let's move on to number 4. Eternal Darkness. Sanity's, once again I can't read, Sanity's Requiem. Eternal Darkness, Sanity's Requiem is another Lovecraft-inspired title. It is arguably the grandest of them all, spanning centuries and dozens of different playable characters all around the same cult and resurrection of the Elder God, a being whose very existence will make a man go mad. The game will make you go mad in tandem with your character. If the setting and conflict aren't enough to terrify you, the game will screw with you in the real world just as much as it does in the digital one. Push the sanity meter too far and you will lose perspective of the screen or even your save file. That's an interesting concept.
Yeah, it deletes your game if you go insane.
I guess. I don't know. Like I said, it given the fact that it's based off a Lovecraft novel, makes it gives
I need
it
to read a Lovecraft novel.
Yeah, you do. You actually do, because there's some really good books.
Are they all horror?
No, not all, but a lot of them have like a suspense thing going on, or like almost like a suspense mystery.
Do they all start with amnesia?
No.
Okay, maybe I'll be interested.
Now, how are we going to handle number 3 on this list?
Uh-oh, what is it? Okay, well, let me say something real quick. When I first looked through this list, the ones that are on this list, this one looked the most intriguing out of the ones I haven't played. Again, this one's based on a Lovecraft novel. I'm thinking the guy that wrote this list is a Lovecraft love guy.
Lover?
He loves the Lovecraft. So number 3, The Dark Descent. All right. Technically, it's called Amnesia, The Dark Descent.
But given the fact that this is a Lovecraft, based on Lovecraft, we will actually overlook the fact that it's Amnesia because
we'll overlook it because the entire game is based on you have an amnesia. It seems like it actually affects the game. It's not just a way to introduce the game. Make sense?
Yes.
So you play a man with amnesia, and that's all you're given to start with. You're in a castle, and you have to remember something that has been forgotten for a reason. So instead of you just having amnesia and you're figuring stuff out, you have amnesia and you have to figure stuff out. Okay, we'll give this one a pass on the amnesia thing because the story sounds good, the game looks good, because you aren't alone in the castle. It's filled with monsters, and unlike other games, actually not unlike horror games, this is actually a huge mechanic in horror games, is that you can't fight them or kill them. The only option is to hide in the dark and hoping that they don't see you, which is a huge mechanic in the horror game, hoping they walk past you, hoping they don't see you, stuff like that. That's actually, it says unlike other games, but technically no, that's actually in a lot of horror games. So I don't know, I might have to play it. The trailers, the gameplay I've seen looks good.
I think Rooster Teeth did a Let's Play on it, so
well, it looks good. This might be the one that gets the pass for the amnesia. The only one, though.
It is the only one that'll get a pass.
Yeah, fuck the other ones. Let's move to number 2, this creepy-ass game that I was telling you about before we started recording.
Yes. Number 2, Fatal Frame 2, Crimson Butterfly. There is something about innocence and danger that terrifies us even more than anything else. The little girls in the haunted village are just that, the epitome of innocence being threatened by supernatural forces. Their only defense against ghosts is the camera obscura. That's only effective when used up close. You are in control of a girl whose only means to defeat the monsters to threaten her is to throw her into harm's way and face the horror head on. The game makes you do this over and over again with every single enemy. That sounds kind of fucked up.
Well, here, I don't think you watched the trailer because your internet sucks.
Yeah.
Blame Google. I'm going to tell you what's confusing about the trailer. Okay, it says you have the camera, and what you just read, the description, your only defense is a camera obscura. So you have a camera that's like a special magical camera. Now what's confusing is the trailer is I don't understand how the camera's used. Okay, it's called Fatal Frame. The fucking game's called Fatal Frame 2. So the camera's important. But it's confusing in the trailer because at one moment it seems like, oh, when you take a picture, it like scares the monster and they go away. And then in another moment it looks like when you take a picture, the flash like reveals what's actually going on. And then another one, it looks like she's using the camera to see what's actually there. Mm-hmm. So I'm confused. Do you actually see what's there and you use the camera to like make it go away? Or do you use the camera to see it? It's super confusing in the trailer. I think I need to watch more gameplay. But almost either mechanic or even both would be good. Because you have this camera, you have to take pictures all the time. There's a fucking demon. I think actually the mechanic I would prefer is if the camera like revealed what was actually there. So like you feel like you're in a normal world or whatever. You take a picture and you look at the fucking screen on the camera. Oh my god, there's 40 dead bodies. There's a demon standing over the dead bodies right there. I think so. Like I said, during the trailer it's kind of confusing which way they use it. But one thing that is in the trailer is it's a pair of twin girls. And one of them like starts going crazy and like killing people and stuff, and the other girl has to kill her sister because she's gone mental. So I don't know. I've seen pictures where she took pictures of her sister, and her sister's over like a bunch of dead bodies and stuff. So that's why I'm confused. Did she see that and she took a picture, or did she have to take the picture to see that? It didn't explain it very good in the trailer, but I don't know. It sounds like it could be a good game either way. I don't know if it deserves to be at number 2. Maybe top 20 for sure. It sounds pretty good, looks pretty good, but Slender Man, come on. I guess you can go ahead and read number 1, and then we'll talk about the ones that aren't on the list.
All right, I'll read number 1, but I have to make one statement about this number 1 first.
Okay.
This number 1 is one of probably a super handful of games that not only have I not finished, I have absolutely no intention of finishing.
Why is that?
This game, I played it right when it was released. Mm-hmm. And I went out, and I don't think I bought it. Maybe I bought it during release, well, right near release, but I know it was not long after release that I played this game. And I played it at home in the dark by myself. And about halfway through the game, I said, you know what? Fuck this game, and turned it off, and I have never played it again.
Were you just too scared just frustrated?
It scared the shit out of me. And that was Silent Hill 2. And I don't know why, but that game just fucked with me. And I said, you know what? Fuck you. And never finished it.
It just hit all the right notes,
I
guess.
It hit all of the right things. And I just said, you know what? I can't play this game anymore. The first Silent Hill set up a great franchise, and then the sequel became one of the greatest games ever made. Silent Hill 2 delves into the psyche of the protagonist, James Sunderland, in ways and into depths that other games only wish they could do. In Silent Hill, nothing is quite right, everything seems artificial, and you don't seem to be looking at the same world as anybody else within it. After a while of playing the game, you will question as to who was James Sunderland's biggest enemy, the town, the player, or the character himself.
Mm-hmm.
This was
a terrifying game. I finished it either.
This was a terrifying game. I don't know. I guess maybe it hit all the right notes. Maybe it just caught me at the wrong time. But whatever the case was, I turned that game off, and I have never revisited it since.
How far in did you make it, though?
I don't remember. I remember I've played it for about an hour to 2 hours.
Oh, that's it?
Yeah, I'm telling you. Wow. All I remember was I was moving from the street to a building, being chased, and something just struck the right curve, and I said, you know what? I'm not playing this game anymore. And I'm man enough to say that. That was 15 years ago. I'm man enough to say that.
Now, this one, I don't think I finished it either, but I do remember playing it. It's hard to remember which Silent Hill was which, because they're all from so long ago, and I played most of them. I think... Is this the one you start out with like a radio that has like white noise?
Yes.
And you're trying to tune it? Okay, I think this one like super frustrated me, and I quit playing it after a few hours as well, but not because I was scared anymore. I think it was like pissing me off because I was stuck on like a specific puzzle. So that's something that Silent Hill does. Some of the puzzles are like Tomb Raider level puzzles. Not quite as hard as Tomb Raider, because Tomb Raider is probably one of the hardest, most well-done puzzle games, but kind of like that, you know what I mean?
I agree. But yeah, this was for what it is, it's a great game. I hold no ill will against it, but maybe I'll go back and revisit it now that my balls have dropped. But
yeah, we need to. We should both go back and replay it.
But yeah, so that's the number 1, and I will definitely give it number 1. I don't agree with 90% of the stuff on this list.
Yeah.
I don't agree with this concept of the only way for a game to be scary is jump scare / amnesia. But you know, there are a few that made this list that I think needed to be higher up, i.e. Resident Evil 2 and Slender Man.
Yeah, we'll just say that he just made the list not in a specific order.
Yeah, I agree, because then you had PT that needed to be higher up. I mean, I would take and put Silent Hill 2, Resident Evil 2, Slender Man, and PT all in the top 5, and in no particular order, alwaysstanding Silent Hill 2 is number 1 in my opinion, and I think PT should be number 2.
Yeah, well, for it being a demo.
Yeah,
we gotta wait on the full game, but that was
but as
definitely
a demo,
number 1.
Well.
Yeah.
All right, so you've been bitching this entire list about your game is not on this list. What game is that?
My favorite horror game of the now, which is right now, and it just came out too. But before I say that one, I'll say another horror game that just came out, The Evil Within. I'm sure you've heard of it.
Yep.
Because they spent a shit ton of money. They put it on commercials, and they put posters, and they put so much money into the marketing. Like, it's everywhere. I think they even made, like, live-action trailers for TV, didn't they? I swear they did.
I think they may have.
But I've played that, and I'll tell you, it does not. I don't even think it would be in the top 10, honestly. I'll tell you why. It's a good game. I've played it for, I don't know, an hour and a half, 2 hours. I have some of the gameplay up on my YouTube channel as well, but here's why it's not as good as my favorite number one game, I think, as of right now. The mechanics of it. So here's where a lot of horror games fall short. So here's another $1 million idea for people making horror games. You can't have it seem like it's AI. You have to make stuff seem like it's realistic. You can't have every time you die and I come back, the zombie is on the same path, or even have the same number of zombies, or even have the world be the same. It has to be different. It has to keep you on your toes, and that's a cheap, easy way to keep it on your toes. All you have to do is program it to randomize. Super easy. It's done. But Evil Within doesn't do that. It's exactly the same every time. I mean, there's different ways that you can go around a zombie or whatever they are, the infected, or there's different ways that you can kill them. But it keeps you on a very specific path. It doesn't let you take any alternate paths. The only alternate you get is like there's a cabin and there's a zombie in front of the cabin, and you can try to sneak around the cabin, or you can kill the infected thing and go through the cabin. And that's pretty much it. That's what it feels like at the Evil Within so far. I'm not that far into it. Maybe it gets better, but it seems like everything's on a predetermined path. Like there's one part at like the very opening of the game. This guy has a chainsaw, and it seems like if you're standing in this corner, he does this. He goes here and he goes here. And then if you're standing in that corner, he goes here and he goes here. That's not a good horror game. That's just a puzzle game that has scary elements in it. I just have to figure out the puzzle. I have to figure out where to stand at this specific time, throw a bottle over there to scare him. So this brings me to number one, the game mechanic that is Farley. I don't know why I said Farley.
Chris Farley?
No, not Chris Farley.
Just checking.
No, it is far above and supreme to any other game mechanic in horror games. It is the mechanic they put into Alien Isolation. Have you played Alien Isolation yet?
No.
Oh my god, dude, it is so good. And I'll tell you why. The graphics suck, like I said. When I first started playing it, I was like, oh, here we go. Here's another B-movie budget that they just threw a game together. They just like we were talking about last episode, they're like, oh, there's good movies, let's make a game from it. That's literally what I thought at first. Like, it feels so clunky, and the graphics suck, and you're like, what the fuck? For 2014 graphics, they suck. If this game came out in 2012, oh, fucking top of the line. But with like PT, the way it looks, and like Assassin's Creed coming out, and like some of the games we have now, graphics aren't up to par. But 5 minutes into this thing, you start realizing, it's not really a puzzle game. There's just, I have to do this thing. And there's not really, it's kind of a puzzle game, but not really. It's more of like, I'm trying to figure out how to explain it. It's more like a survival game, but everything can change. It does keep you on a specific path, sort of, but there's like vents that you can crawl in. There's differences in gameplay. There's differences in how you can approach everything. To me, it feels like it's just above and beyond other horror games, the way they approach stuff. Because, all right, let's say there's one room that you walk into, and there's 2 droid characters. Spoiler alert, the droids want to kill you. You'll find out why if you play the game. At the first of the game, they don't want to kill you. They're friendly and they help humans. But later on, they're just out to kill you. And so if a droid sees you, he will chase you. Now, the cool mechanic about the droid, let's say you're like running away from him, you run an event. Sometimes the droid will wait at that end of the vent, and the other droid will go to the other side of the vent. Or sometimes they'll give up on you, and they'll just go back to what they were doing. Like, it's like, I don't know, it's like randomized. It's never the same. One cool thing they have in the game is a motion detector. But here's the cool thing about the motion detector. It puts off light, and it puts off a slight beep when you use it. And androids and the alien can both see and hear your motion detector. So again, it adds like another thing, because you're like, oh shit, I'm hiding. I wonder where they are. And you peek, and by you finding out where they are, could have alerted them where you are, and can then change what they do. It's so good, Q. Like, it's so good the way they have it programmed to be like different every time. Like there's one spot I got stuck, which is the spot I was talking about, the room you walk through where there's 2 droids, and they're doing a specified task. They have to walk around this desk, push this button, walk back, and push this button. But depending if you make a noise or if you, like if one of them sees you, it's cool too because every time it's different. Like if one sees you, he can call the other one or not. So just he could come after you, and you could try and take him out, or they could both come after you, and then there's no way you'll take him out because you can't kill 2 androids at once because this fucking one will hold you while the other one kills you.
That's pretty cool.
But that's just that droids. The best shit is the alien dude, because there's another part I got stuck at where you have to go find a key card to get through a door. Okay, so it's kind of like a puzzle game. You have to find key cards and pin codes for doors and stuff. But it's different when you're trying to find a key card and there's a fucking alien hunting your ass. And I have it set on hard. I have it set on the hardest. I think it makes the game a lot better. Because he's fucking ruthless, dude. If he sees you go into a door, the alien will do something different every time. It's like randomized, like I said. Sometimes he'll just chase you through the door and just kill you. Or sometimes he'll hop up to the ceiling, crawl up into the vents, and just go around. Because a lot of the doors have an emergency shut-off on them. When you shut the door, you can press a button so that the door doesn't work anymore. So
that's
like the more...
mechanic.
Yeah, so, dude, it's so good when you're like, oh shit, you run up to a door and you're pressing in the pin code, and you have to know the pin code. The game, it's not like other games where you just find the pin code. So you do have to find the pin code like on computers throughout the game, but then you have to remember them. It's not like other games, you find the pin code, walk up, and your character just knows it and puts it in. You have to remember it. So you have an alien breathing down your neck, fucking chasing after you. He's way faster than you. You put in the pin code, the door shuts, you hurry and push the emergency shut off. Dude, that did nothing. You hear him up in the vents above you, and you're like, oh, fuck, where do I hide? And so you can hide under desks, which are quick and easy, and they don't make any noise. But they're easier, I don't know, maybe they're not easier for him to find you. He's never found me under a desk. There's lockers, there's like these food cart trays. They're like a short little tray that you can hide in. Oh, and here's one of my favorite mechanics of the game. Sometimes if he thought he saw you go into the locker, he'll come up to the locker and press his ear to the locker. And then a button pops up that you have to press to hold your breath. And if you don't press that, he hears you go... and he fucking rips open the locker and pulls you out and eats you up.
Nice.
And at first, I thought it was the same button every time to hold your breath, but it's not. It's one of like a couple buttons. So you have to wait for that pop-up, and you see him leaning into the locker, and so you're like, oh, fuck, which button is it going to be? And then you press that button, and then you don't just have to press the breath button. Then he turns his head to look into the locker, and then you have another button press coming up that could be either of the buttons that says press this to lean back from the locker so he can't see you in there. Oh my god, dude, it's so good. It's my favorite horror game right now for sure. I don't know if it's my favorite horror game overall, but like the mechanics in it, how like sometimes like he'll follow me into a room and he'll be right on my ass, and I'll go in a locker, and I don't know if somehow he didn't see me or he wants to toy with you. He'll pretend that he didn't see you, and he'll go outside the door and he won't move. So you look up your motion detector and you don't see him, but you know he's fucking there on the other side of the door because you didn't hear him walk away. And you're like, you motherfucker.
Well, I guess I'm going to have to give this one a try because...
Yeah, you have to try it. Just keep in mind when you get in a locker, he can hear the locker shut. Your motion detector makes low noise. It emits light. So if you're using it while in a locker, he can see you do that. Like, oh, dude, it's so good. There's so many elements to it that it's just so fucking good. And he never does the same thing twice. Like I said, sometimes he'll roam around a hallway, cutting you off from where you need to go. Or sometimes he'll go up in the vent because he knows you're around somewhere, but he doesn't know where you are. So he'll go up in the vent and wait for you to come out and make some kind of noise, pop down and fucking eat your ass.
Well, I had such a bad experience when I bought Colonial Marines, the last one. I didn't even make it 45 minutes into that game, and I'm like, this game sucks. And just, I have such a hard time now buying games on release because of what Colonial Marines has done to me. That it's because I was really stoked about another Alien game, because I remember playing those on like the Super Nintendo, and I love the Alien series, and I love the Predator series. That's just those are two series of games and videos and movies and whatever that I really enjoyed. And so they're like, oh, here's Alien, Colonial Marine. And I'm like, oh, hell yeah, this is fucking awesome. I love that shit. This game fucking sucks. And then I'm like, well, that's $60 wasted.
Yeah.
I can't even take it back to GameStop because they'll give you like 2.5 pennies. And I'm like, fuck you guys. It's like, even you sorry sons of bitches are going to turn around and sell this game for $10 and you're going to pay me this? I paid $60 for it. Kiss my ass. So yeah, I kind of have to wait a little bit and let people give me some good feedback on it before I go out and buy these games now, because of it's 100% Colonial Marines' fault. So, but yeah, I'll definitely give that one a try because it does look good. I've seen some gameplay and stuff like that. So I think this one's got potential, because Space Marine sure the fuck did not.
No, so. I heard that was absolute shite. I heard that from everyone too. I'm like, because I didn't play the last one, Space Marines. I didn't play that. So when I had this, I'm like, oh, have you tried this? And almost everyone I talked to said what you just said. Oh, the last one sucked so bad, I don't even want to bother. Yeah, and it was just, I think they really had to knock it out of the park, because otherwise they were just going to ruin it so everybody would not want to play this game again or play this series again. Yeah, it's just it was such a shitty game that I can't even put words into a sentence to describe the complexity of the bullshit, useless, fucked up, dumb shit game that game was. Huh. Well, I like Isolation. I like almost everything they do in it. There's maybe little minor stuff that's kind of annoying, but I don't know, not anything I can think of right now. Right now I'm in love with it.
Well, on a complete side tangent to current horror games that have come out that have been good. Do you know what released today that I jizzed all over myself and all up the wall and everywhere when I saw that it was coming out?
Released today?
Today.
It's a horror game?
No, not a horror game. Totally not a horror game. It's outside of... It's just a game that I was going to shoehorn it into this conversation for this show because it's that fucking epic.
I think I saw you talking about it, something Star Wars related.
Star Wars X-Wing and Star Wars TIE Fighter for the PC, re-released today. That's fucking huge. I have hundreds of hours invested in Star Wars TIE Fighter.
Yeah. That
was one of the greatest games.
What is that? Is that like a simulation
flying? It's a flying simulator. You start out as, in TIE Fighter, you start out as just like a rookie pilot, and you start out in a TIE Fighter, and you have this is a cargo container. You have to protect it from the invading rebels. And, you're flying in your TIE Fighter, and you got to balance your engines and your weapons and defend it and kill the rebel scum, and it's a flight simulator for Star Wars. And it's the same platform that from its original release, so it was released on Windows 95, and they've finally been able to retweak it and make it however they do those things to make it playable on Windows 7, Windows 8, and it's just that's it, I'm done. I didn't get a chance to download it before the show, and it's a really good thing, because if I had downloaded it before the show, we would not be able to record the show, because I would be so ingrained in playing it that I would lose hours upon days.
Can you play it with a flight stick?
Yeah, you have to have a joystick.
Oh, that does sound cool, flying a fucking X-Wing.
Yeah, the X-Wing one, the Star Wars X-Wing, is a lot of fun. I didn't like the clunkiness of X-Wing, because it was the first of the two games, so the graphics were a little less good and the mechanics were a little less good. But I have spent so many hours playing TIE Fighter, because the campaign, the storyline for it, that you start out as this rookie pilot and you work your way up through the ranks to a captain, I think is the highest you could reach, because you're at squad level at that point. You could actually, the AI controlled some of your squad mates, so you could target a specific enemy ship and then hit a command and tell all of the pilots in your squad to attack that ship. It's like I can't. You've got to get it. I mean, right now they've got both games for download on
GOG.
Yeah, GOG.
GOG.com. Looks like they're both $10.
$10. Yeah, I'll be going out and buying a. I can tell you the last time that I played that game, I had a joystick that was only for serial ports. So wow. I've got to go get a USB joystick now to play this game, and I'll be downloading it this week. And
how are you gonna play it if you have to have one hand on the computer joystick and one hand on your joystick?
I tell you what, I might have to go like Marilyn Manson and remove a rib or something. I mean, like, I don't fucking care. I mean, I'll be jerking off. I mean, the keyboard's going to be sticky. It's just, the joystick's going to smell like ass. I mean, it's just, fuck, it's going to be awesome, dude.
Well, your weekend's planned.
Yeah, my weekend is done. So yeah, that's big gaming news in Cuestick's world.
Yeah, so if you want it, it's both the X-Wing and the TIE Fighter simulators, right?
Yes.
Each one they're $10 separate.
Correct.
And you can get them on GOG.com.
Yes, run out and get it. I'm hoping that if both of these do really well, they'll do the third in the series, which is the X-Wing versus TIE Fighter. And that one actually allowed you to play, it was online and play against other pilots, like other people, and play against them in combat simulators. It wasn't like the X-Wing or the TIE Fighter where it had its own storyline.
Yeah.
This game was all about, you could set up the mission, you could play like custom missions and, and do stuff like that. Or you could kind of go like into this arena where you would play a custom mission and you would be playing against actual human controllers. And that was just, that was the shit. That was awesome.
Oh, that sounds badass.
It was
how many players could you play?
I think you could play with either 8 or 10. I couldn't remember if it was 5-on-5 or 4-on-4.
Huh. They could easily jump that up nowadays.
Nowadays, yeah, absolutely. So I'm hoping that does well. Because I think they also released Knights of the Old Republic.
Yeah, they did. I saw that.
But that one, wow, that is good. Wow, that's awesome. It doesn't, it doesn't rate for a TIE Fighter. I'm not even sure I'll be downloading X-Wing yet. I'm solely going to be playing the fuck out of TIE Fighter.
Huh.
So,
that sounds cool.
Yeah.
So there's a whole story to it too.
Yeah,
not just a simulation.
Yeah. The both X-Wing and TIE Fighter are they have there's the storyline to it. The campaign for TIE Fighter takes place between the events of Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi, and you are you're like I said, you're starting out as like an academy pilot, no experience, and they give you like menial jobs like protect this cargo container while it's being loaded to a ship. And like 1 or 2 like X-Wings show up, and you have to defend it while it's being loaded. And then as you progress through the game, like this undercover agent of the Emperor like comes to you and says, "Oh, you don't work for the Imperial Navy. You work for me now." And you get missions where you're working for an admiral who may or may not be defecting to the rebellion. And I won't spoil it, because even if you have played it, I'm you know what happens. If you haven't played it, I'm not spoiling it. And then after that admiral, you work for another admiral that may or may not be leaving the Empire altogether to kind of carve out his own like warlord status kind of thing. And you end up under the command of Grand Admiral Thrawn, which is, if you know anything about the expanded universe, Grand Admiral Thrawn is like the super brilliant mind of the Imperial Navy, and he was off doing some other missions for the Emperor leading up to Return of the Jedi, or leading up to the Battle in Endor. And if Grand Admiral Thrawn had been at the Battle of Endor, the rebellion would not have won, and all that shit. And Grand Admiral Thrawn was the badass of his time, and you're a pilot under his command towards the end of the game. And there's no like side stuff to this campaign. I mean, that's all TIE Fighter is just the campaign. But the storyline and kind of filling in the gaps as to what was going on within the Imperial Navy between Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi, while you have the story of like Shadows of the Empire, which was the book that kind of bridged the gap between Empire and Jedi. This tells a complete side story to everything else that was going on. Like, the Empire was dealing with its own shit. And yeah, really good. I mean, you start out playing the TIE Fighter, you do some stuff in the TIE Bomber, You use the TIE Advance, the TIE Defender, the gunboat, the missile boat. Some really fucking cool shit that I wish they would have done more with, and the fact that they just said, you know what, we're not going to do anything more with it. We're just going to bring back one of the greatest Star Wars games of all time. I'm totally happy with that.
Shoot, that does sound fucking awesome.
If
you're into Star Wars.
Even if you're not into Star Wars, just the simulator part and just the battle stuff is a lot of fun. Even if you don't do like Star Wars or the storyline, if you just like to play like combat simulating, flying stuff, space stuff, awesome game to play. And for $10 on the PC for a game, you don't have to worry about fucking processor speed because it's built for a game. It's built for fucking Windows 95. So, yeah. I mean, you're not going to take up any space, no processor, nothing, you know. So this is going to be a really good game, really easy, cheap, fun game that I plan on losing hours to again. So.
Well, I guess I'll talk to you when Master Chief Collection comes out.
Yeah, exactly. While you're playing Master Chief Collection, I'll be playing TIE Fighter. It's that important.
Yeah. So that'll do it for this episode.
Yeah.
And we'll be talking about Master Chief Collection and Halo 5 next episode.
Yeah.
Not because it'll be out. We'll be speculating on stuff that hasn't been announced, which is mostly for Halo 5, because they've announced everything you can think of for Master Chief Collection.
Yeah, exactly.
So we'll talk about that. If you haven't heard what's going on, Master Chief Collection.
Yep.
I love you. You love me.
Yep.
We're a happy pig family.
Bye, guys.
Okay, bye.